So you guys know who is leading votes in the Pro Bowl for quarterbacks right now?
Please tell me Shador.
Is it Josh Allen?
Please tell me
Votes.
Shador.
The fans have spoken.
Fans know.
Right?
They got to
The
stop
fans
this,
know what
man.
they're doing.
The fans know.
They got to take the power
Vote.
out of the fans' hands.
Take the
man.
power
Stop it.
out of the people's hand.
Out of
Come
the
on,
people's hands. Take it away. Take it away. All right, so we got week 16 is in the books, man. This is has been an interesting season for people that just joining, checking out the podcast, man. We're on a couple different platforms. We're on YouTube, we are on Instagram, we are also on TikTok. So if you get the opportunity to subscribe on any of those platforms, definitely subscribe on those platforms and follow us over there, man. But all right, week 16, man, jumping in. And interesting games, happening this week. Lee, we had touched briefly on you guys, but I just want to recap real quick on that game real quick.
I don't.
I
Go ahead.
I know you don't.
Go ahead.
I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to.
I really don't.
Yeah. So, I mean, 38-37. I just want to make sure we get all our bases covered, on these things. So, but we do know, I just got to say, we do know, that was a critical game. But again, look, I think you guys are in a great spot, heading into the playoffs. So I don't think you have anything to worry about with that. So just want to touch on that. Don't know if y'all wanted to touch on anything with that.
We still clinch, right? We clinched before that game started, so we're good. The impact of the game, we lost the number one seed. Seattle then gets bumped up. We're number 5. It opened the door as well for San Francisco, and then San Francisco got in with that Detroit Lions loss, I believe. Or was it the Tampa Bay loss? One of those. Detroit, yeah. So those guys are in. But yeah, we've had a lot of inexplicable losses this season, right? The field goal block with the Eagles. This one with Seattle, the fumble at the 1-yard line, right? With the Finners, and then just losing to the Panthers. Didn't see that one coming either. I think if you tally up all of those, it's just all one-score games. So that being said, the Rams, after that game, we fired the special teams coach. He's out.
Really?
Yeah, he's out. See, and this is what I'm talking about, even with your guys, man. Like when you see something, you got to fix it. You got to fix it, right?
Yeah.
And these guys are close with McVay, but when it comes to that Rams organization, McVay and Les Snead in general, well, specifically, they will cut ties with you.
Yeah.
Right. If it's not for the betterment of the team, you got to go. And with this guy, this spans all the way back to the game with the Eagles, where we lost based on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had the similar situation with the Panthers. The special teams wasn't doing his job. So with this situation where we gave up a punt return, right? The coverage wasn't prepared. I mean, we kicked directly down the middle. Probably should have kicked it, off to the side. McVay had enough. Look, we can't have this as an Achilles heel going into the playoffs. We got to tighten it up. Hey, you got to make these decisions. That's why he's the guy. He's the head honcho. He has to do what's best for the team, all personal feelings and relationships aside. So I like the move. I think it was a good move. And the kicking game, as we've seen, has gotten better. Again, based off McVay getting rid of the kicker. Right, we had John Carty. He's gone. Mevis is in, and he only had that one miss, which was a critical miss. The other day against Seattle. But to your point, I think we're good. I like the mindset, and I still think we have a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. I think the team, they know that they're a good team, and if it takes the refs up to insert themselves and giving 2 points to the team and calling a phantom illegal man downfield at the goal line to take away a touchdown, we'll play against the refs too.
Beat the refs too.
Got to beat the refs too.
Yeah.
Real quick, the Rams are going to be scary going into the playoffs with a healthy Devontae Adams and with the special teams being at least average. They've been 11-4 with below average special teams. So that has been addressed. And so we'll see how things go come playoff time.
Yeah. Again, you guys don't have anything to worry about. The only thing you have to worry about. There is one thing. There is a couple things you have to worry about. If you playing somebody in your division, they seem like the only people that could really, really stay close with y'all. If it comes down to NFC Championship and it's if you guys in your division playing against each other, that would be our only concern, because it seems like at any point in time, again, these are division games, anybody could win.
I'm still not concerned about Seattle.
You're not concerned about them, okay?
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm still not concerned about Seattle.
Yeah.
And they know it, right?
Yeah.
They pumping their chest now. They got the seed and they beat us, right? But again, there was a lot of external help involved in that game. Yeah, they made the plays, but they were put in position to make those plays.
Yeah.
I think the Rams are built and they can scheme to get the better of that team. So the only team I'm really concerned about is 49ers. Yeah, that's
crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, that's crazy. All right, so let's jump in. So Saturday games, you had my Eagles against the Commanders, and the Commanders were shorthanded big time. We know Jaden Daniels didn't play. Then Marcus Mariota went out of the game, and then you brought in Josh Johnson. Yeah. And it was what you saying, Lee? What you saying?
Why Josh Johnson still in the league? How is that possible? Like, how do teams keep picking him up?
Yeah, I think people must see some athleticism. Obviously, he probably could run, but he didn't even run in that game.
He can't run. He's not an athletic quarterback.
He's not.
And that's not. Yeah, and you got tape. You seen what this man does when he gets in the game.
It's strong arm, and it's a really nice positive influence on the locker room. It's got to be that, because nothing else makes sense.
You know what it is, Doc? I think he's the personification of a strong interviewer.
Of a what?
Strong interviewer.
Not a strong interviewer.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know that guy where they blow your socks off in the interview?
Yeah.
And then when it comes in, it comes time to you can't do nothing. He can't do everything you said he was talking. He can't do none of it.
Yeah, all that is lies.
Yeah.
How was he not on a team? We must be the luckiest team in the league to pick him up.
Those other teams didn't know they was doing with him.
Right. Yeah.
You heard what he said he could do? Come on.
Yeah, it just when I saw he came in the game, I was like, yeah, that's over.
It's over. I said the same thing.
The first play, he threw it at his receiver's back, at one of the offensive linemen's back, and almost got picked off. I was like, yeah, this over. This is over. So yeah. Anyway, it was a game. I still didn't like how the offense looked. Again, Lee, you talk about changes and that kind of stuff like that. Still didn't look like how it looked in the first half, and then in the second half. I mean, who are you playing? So anyway, not a big deal in this game, but the Eagles take the win.
Yeah, man. I mean, Saquon had a really good game. 21 rushes, 21 carries for 132 yards and a touchdown, right? You feed Saquon, things tend to go well for your team. Probably the first time I can remember, maybe this season, where Saquon had a good game and A.J. Brown had a good game at the same time. 9 catches for 95 yards. Yeah, you guys did what you had to do, right? And, congratulations for winning the NFC East and officially knocking the Dallas Cowboys out of the playoffs.
Get them out of here.
So
I'm out of here, man.
Yeah.
Prima donnas. I'm out of here.
I'm envious. Can the Rams and the Eagles switch divisions? Come on. Can we switch?
It was a down year, man. It was a down year for them. It was a down year.
Look, y'all did what y'all supposed to do. It was the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, he's decommissioned for the rest of the season, basically. The defense is old. When Bobby Wagner is like with 15 years, like the top defender on your team. Yeah, not besmirching him. He's still a great defender, but come on, right? You're right. I still don't like the way the offense looks. It's just not smooth. I don't see a rhythm. To it. But you guys, when you're known now for playing ugly, winning ugly, right?
Yeah.
So that's Nick. That's his Sirianni. That's his MO. That's now his calling card. Win ugly. And once you win, all of that stuff gets put to the side. So you're winning at the right time. You're building up that momentum going into the playoffs. Again, it's the Commanders. I don't really give this much credence. You were supposed to win. You were supposed to win big against this team, and you kind of sort of did that. So
yeah. So all right. This game, the Packers and the Bears, man. This is so. I picked the Bears to win this game, and this is so improbable because Nowadays when you go into overtime, you have to declare. Back in the day, you didn't have to declare that you was doing an onside kick. It was just a surprise. You just had to be ready, to get an onside kick. Now it's you got to declare. Everybody know what you're doing. It's not a surprise. Really be there to catch the ball. You got your hands team on. Be there. Be ready to secure the ball when it comes. How does this happen? How does this even happen? I mean, the game was over. Catch the ball, game over. And as improbable as it was, even in overtime, with that last play of the game, that heave at the back of the end zone, off of leaning back, off of 1 foot, that was an excellent pass, man. That was a thing of beauty. And hey, look, it happened. The Packers won their way the first game. Bears won in their fashion this game. Again, this is just like in your division, Lee, and these two teams slugging it out, going back and forth, talking trash with each other. And the Bears are finally, I think after so many years, got a little bit of reprieve in this game by beating the Packers. Obviously, the Packers still have the advantage over these guys. However, I don't know. This is going to be interesting, man. These teams are evenly matched going down the stretch, and I think this is going to be interesting in the NFC. I for some reason, I don't know what it is. The Packers are a good team, but I just think they're going to be one and done. That's just my feeling in the playoffs. But Bears come up with a win, 22-16. They have actually they won the division, right? Did they officially win the division?
No, they also clinched with the
Detroit loss. With the Detroit loss. Yes, that's what it was. Okay, yeah. So all right, well, Bears come up with the win, man. Big game for them to.
No, man. Starting off with Green Bay is like you don't know what Green Bay team gonna show up. Like sometimes they come out and they look like world beaters, and sometimes they show up and you're like, what's going on, right? So Jordan Love goes out. Malik Willis comes in, has a pretty good game up until the fumble in overtime. Caleb Williams has a pretty decent game, 19 for 34, 250, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But the Bears in crunch time delivered, right? Onside kick, beats the blitz on 4th down, goes to overtime. They get the ball, they march down the field and score. So you got to give them credit that when they have to deliver, they're able to deliver. And I got to give Ben Johnson a lot of credit for that. What we're seeing with the Bears this year on paper was supposed to be what was going to happen last year when they got Caleb Williams, but you actually kind of see with better coaching, things coming together, good offense, good defense. They're executing their situational football is really good. And they are, kings of the NFC North. And they're going to be a formidable opponent in the postseason because you tend to know what you're going to get with the Bears every week. They're pretty consistent with what they bring to the table. So yeah, but good win for them.
Yeah, I think everything's consistent about them except for the quarterback. The quarterback is really a wild card in that he can do just so many different things with the ball in his hand. Again, it's kind of hard to scheme against someone like that. Outside of that, this is good for football, man. Like, I think, this is the oldest rivalry in the NFL, probably in all of sports. Up there, well, maybe Michigan, Ohio State is the only other one. This one is, we wanted to see these two teams play meaningful games. And for the longest, it's always been one-sided for almost like a decade with the Packers. But now seeing the Bears starting to, kind of show themselves as being a formidable team, it's good to see them play this game this late in the season with high stakes. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of it. Packers were beat up. Both the quarterbacks got dinged up. Love got knocked out of the game. So we didn't really get to see the Packers at a high potential, or as high potential as they could have been. But with Ben and Ben letting Caleb be Caleb, because that was my concern in going into the season. Not that Caleb would have any major issues, but that Ben would restrict him so much to where he couldn't really do the things that we know he could do with his skill set. And you see it come to fruition, him throwing off balance, throwing these, making plays and ad-libbing, making something out of nothing. And, they split, they're 1-1 with this team. And I hope, for years to come, we continue to see this back and forth with them. But the Bears going into the playoffs are going to be dangerous. I do think the Packers, because you lost Micah, you have Love with the concussion, they're probably going to be one and done unless LaFleur can pull a rabbit out of his hat. But the Bears going in, they're looking strong. There's another team that's going to be a hard out, right, on the NFC. NFC, there's a lot of good teams in the NFC going into these playoffs. So if the Bears, especially if they have home field advantage in the first game, yeah, I wouldn't want to play them.
Yeah.
Not in Chicago. And you got a quarterback that could throw in those elements, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of teams, that you don't know the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm totally let down by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had this they had this division. The division was won. Right, they had it, and one thing after the next, and they just were starting to crumble. And the Panthers, jumped up on them. Now the Panthers are leading the division, and it's just crazy. It's wild to see what's happened with the Buccaneers. I just can't understand it, but not a particularly good game for either team, I think, in this game. However, Panthers come up with a 3-point win. They're leading the division right now, and I think they might be the team that represents the NFC South because Tampa Bay, how they're playing right now, is just, I don't know what's going on with them. It's just not. They're just falling apart. So good for the Panthers, man. There's another team again. They get in there. Who knows what could happen? I mean, they could be I don't know. It's just crazy to see that the Buccaneers let this one slip out. So Panthers 23-20.
The weird thing about it is Tampa had all those injuries at the beginning of the season and kept on winning. And now they're getting healthy, but like their rhythm's off. They're just not, they ain't clicking. Right. And Carolina seems to be gelling. They're pulling out victories that we didn't expect them to. Bryce Young seems to be a decent quarterback, playing well, 2 touchdown passes, no turnovers. Our running game didn't do much, but between the offense and the defense, just enough to outlast the Buccaneers. Carolina's defense had a nice interception late fourth quarter to seal the victory. Baker trying to make a play, throwing to Mike Evans. Evans goes inside. Thought it's going outside, ball intercepted, game over. And so it's going to be hard for Tampa Bay now they're going to have to win these last 2 games, they think, and Carolina's going to have to lose the last 2 games for Tampa to get in. Otherwise, it's going to be Carolina. They'll be a good team in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to go very far, but hats off to them for making the playoffs and becoming a respectable team this year.
Yeah, I think some of the woes that the Bucks are exhibiting right now is due to the fact that Mayfield is just he's not 100%. Right. So if you remember after the Rams game a couple of weeks back, he got knocked out of that game. He had an AC joint injury in his non-throwing shoulder. But still, I think that has some effect on him because he's having to manage that pain week to week in these games. So he's definitely not at 100% right now. And I think that's probably why we're seeing the lack of production or consistency in the offense. But outside of that, the Panthers, give them a lot of credit. The beginning of the season for them didn't look good. Rico Dowdle, you're seeing I don't know, man. It's like he's just revived his career with this team. And Hubbard is starting to get healthy coming off of that massive injury he had last year. But they didn't have a really good production in this game, right? I don't know how they won this game. But you have, and we talked about this, like you have the NFC South. Any team, when they play each other, any team can win. And I've said this a couple of times. The team that's at the bottom of that division has the best divisional record in the Saints, right? So that just sums up the NFC South, right? So, you toss it up, any team can win. Today it was the Panthers, and they're going to probably win the division. But I don't really see them doing much in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. Buffalo Bills, 23. Cleveland Browns 20. Josh Allen didn't have that good of a game. I think it was more James Cook, was kind of running in this game. I think he had over 100 yards or something like that. But Shador Sanders didn't have a good game, didn't look good. And Buffalo just, they came up with a 3-point win, 23-20. It's just people want to put Buffalo at the top of the AFC. But this should have been a easier game for them. And this is, don't get me wrong, this is the NFL. I mean, this is the NFL. These are professional NFL players, right? But if you're putting yourself at the top of the AFC and you're trying to be saying that, and this was what the pundits are doing, putting them at the top, saying they are going to be the team to beat. I just don't see it with Buffalo. I know it all runs through Josh Allen, and James Cook. When he gets going, is definitely difficult to stop. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll continue to see. 2 games left in the season heading into the playoffs. But there's other teams in the AFC that I think could take them out. So we'll see as things go along. But of course they get the win, and they're moving along.
James Cook is the NFL rushing leader right now. That is the quietest 1,500 yards I think anyone has ever amassed in the NFL. I mean, he has games where he goes for 150 and games where it seems he goes for 20, right? So like, oh, James cooked. Let James cook. And then a couple games go, you don't see nothing. And then next game he's not. But he's leading the league in rushing. So they've got a rushing attack. And that should travel. It should travel into the playoffs, right? So you got Superman at quarterback. You got the NFL's leading rusher, right? You got a decent defense. And you figure, this should be a given. And yet they're going into the playoffs. And you're kind of like, yeah, I don't know about Buffalo, right? I'm not sure why the sum of the parts isn't greater than or even equal to. It just seems like it doesn't seem to fit well, even though when you look at individual things, they should be a top 1, top 2 team in that league, in that division. Well, conference anyway. But yeah, they beat Cleveland. They beat a team with a suspect offense. No offense to the Shedeur Sanders fans, but a really good defense. And they eked it on the road 23-20. And for a team that's supposed to be contending for Super Bowl, they should have had the margin of victory should have been better. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Buffalo, but with New England and Denver and some of these other teams in the AFC, they're going to have a hard time making it to the Super Bowl when there's no Patrick Mahomes and probably no Lamar Jackson. Like, you would think this is the year for Buffalo, but they're going to have a hard time running that gauntlet in the AFC.
So you guys know who is leading votes in the Pro Bowl for quarterbacks right now?
Please tell me Shedeur.
Is it Josh Allen?
Please tell me Shedeur.
Votes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think last week, your boy was up there. If not the leader, but he's right now going to make the Pro Bowl based off of votes. Shedeur Sanders.
What?
Yeah.
Stop it, man. Stop it.
The fans speak. The fans have spoken.
The fans know,
right?
They got to stop.
The fans know what they're doing.
The fans know.
They got to stop this. They got to take the power out of the fans' hands.
Take the power out of the people's hand.
Out of the people's hands. Take it away.
Take it away. People what they want.
Take it away. I mean, look, I like Shedeur too, but
it's a democracy.
Not that much, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. He was up there in votes, right?
Legendary.
Show to watch and all that, man. But he's getting more and more practice snaps with the ones, and the production seems to be dipping lower and lower and lower, right? It's not as easy, I guess, as he thinks it was going to be. That being said, this right now is more on the Bills. It's a letdown, even though that they won. I would have expected them to have a better showing in this game against the Browns. Not that the Browns don't have a good defense. The Browns defense is stellar with Myles Garrett leading that group, but the Bills just collectively, they look off. We talk about James Cook leading the league in rushing. It's a huge assist by defenses having a light box in front of him, because defenses are more worried about Josh Allen than they are about James Cook. They're not concerned about James Cook, not to the degree that other running backs have to worry about. So he's seeing a lot of light boxes, which gives him a lot of opportunity. And he's talented. He's just like his brother. His brother, he's a home run hitter. So you give him, a sliver of daylight, he can take it the distance, which is what he does. But you take Josh Allen out of the equation, he's not running for all these yards. But this team is it's too dependent on Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, he got nicked up. He injured his ankle in this game as well, which slowed him up. And they have no weapons on the outside to help, assist him when he has to not take the onus on for himself. So yeah, it doesn't look good for him. It doesn't look good for the Bills. McDermott, as a coach, he's all right. I would put him over Sirianni, and not to, put him, slight him like that. But McDermott is a good coach, but I think they could do better. And with that being said, going into the playoffs, they're limping into it. I think they're a wild card team right now. Maybe, probably, yeah. They're not going to catch the Patriots. So, It's unfortunate. Holmes is out. Lamar Jackson is out. Burrow is out. This was supposed to be Josh Allen's time, and to me, it's just getting squandered. I don't know where to point the finger. I don't know if their GM should have gotten some more help in the pass catching category, maybe. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be their year.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it's sad, man. You think it would be, but hey, it is what it is.
And they're wasting his career.
Yeah.
They're wasting Josh Allen's career right now. Josh Allen should have at least been to one Super Bowl by now.
At least. Absolutely.
At least one.
Hey, you never know, man. In these playoffs, anything could happen. I don't know how they turn it on, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. A couple more games left. And I knew the outcome of this game before the game even happened, right? And it happened in Dallas, Texas. I already knew what the outcome of this game was going to be. The Chargers 34, Cowboys 17. When they found out on Saturday that the Eagles had won and it was over for them anyway, that was it. Cowboys, they couldn't even muster up any fight. It was over. All their fans knew it was over. The players knew it was over. Jerry Jones knew it was over, but Jerry don't care because it's still a 360 a year soap opera. And this is we have become accustomed to this. Doc, I want to hear from you. Hear what's going on in Dallas now. Who they blaming now. But I expected this to happen. I knew it was going to happen. And Dallas Cowboys again out of the playoffs. Boy, look, it's just comical. It's comical year after year that this happens in December for the Cowboys. But anyway, good game by the Chargers. And but they did what they were supposed to do, like most of the teams that's playing now. You play in the Cowboys in December, so that should have been a W. Good win.
Tell us how you really feel. No, man. You're watching the Chargers play. As we've talked about, the Chargers are a well-coached, disciplined team. You have to beat the Chargers. And just straight up, the Cowboys couldn't. Defense couldn't stop the run, couldn't stop the pass. The Cowboys stopped trying to run the ball, and it was just Dak trying to throw to CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, and it wasn't enough, and 34-17. For Cowboys fans, it must be frustrating, because offense looks good at times, but they pretty much have to score touchdowns every single possession. And when they don't, defense ain't helping them out. They're not getting many turnovers. They're not getting many 3-and-outs. They're not stopping many drives. And you can't even point to one person because everyone seems to be taking the term and missing assignments or just not covering. Yeah. The conversations are currently, will Eberflus be back next year? I think most folks think no, but will he be back next year? And then what do the Cowboys try to do to get better? Because it's kind of hard to think of what they're going to do to make the offense much better. Offense is pretty good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot they need to do to make that defense better. I don't think that's a first round pick or 2 first-round picks away from being a top 10 defense. So And the GM tends to be busy doing other things. So, and they just tend not to draft defensive players in the first round. And when they do, they draft D tackles that they don't use right, and they make them lose weight, and they don't do much, right? So
Micah was a first round.
Micah's the exception. I'm talking Taco Charlton and Mozzie Smith in particular. So, but yes. So they tend to stick with their offensive linemen. They tend to pan out more times than not. But yeah. Anyway. That's what's going on in Dallas.
Caleb Downs would look good with the Cowboys. All right, the safety out of Ohio State. I think he's a top 3 defender coming out in this draft.
But people don't usually draft safeties in the first round unless they're amazing safeties.
He is amazing.
Derwin James like safeties, right?
Yeah. But no, I think right now it's really about looking to the future for the Cowboys. They should be better than what they're showing right now, but one could say, hey, you got rid of your best defender, and now that's looking like that was a brilliant move, seeing as how that's playing out for the Packers and what's going on with Micah, and then the compensation that they got for them. One would say Cowboys are coming out on top off of that transaction. And as much as Cowboys fans might be a little bit upset right now, they do have a lot to look forward to in the future. Doc, you do make a good point about, they seem to need probably more help than 2 first round picks would provide, but we don't know, because if you put a better defensive coordinator in there. And just for argument's sake, not to say that this should happen, but you look at what Robert Saleh is doing with with the tools that he has, and he's lost a lot of guys, but that defense is really schemed really well, and they're performing at a very high level. You get someone as competent as him with that defense, with some really, really good high draft picks, it could be night and day, right, between this year and next year. So I think they have a lot. They have a lot to look forward to. I think if they use their picks right, if they hire right, they could turn this around real quick. Dak is the guy. I like Dak. That should not be touched. You got those two receivers they need to Pickens. They definitely need to give him a long-term contract. All of the shenanigans aside, you're still not going to get a better replacement as a complementary receiver to CeeDee Lamb. But let's talk about the Chargers, man. Chargers, they look solid. They look good. Herbert with one hand, he's playing, lights out. He threw for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they're still a run-first team. Hampton, he's chugging along, 85 yards, a touchdown. And this is also with a makeshift offensive line. They lost both of their tackles, and these were A+ guys, and they're doing this. So it's scary. So good on them. They're looking strong going into the playoffs. And in this AFC, anyone I think could win that. It could come out in the AFC right now. Anyone, especially after what we saw with. And we haven't talked about that game yet, but with the Broncos and Jaguars, anyone come out the AFC.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Don't look now, but the New Orleans Saints, they were playing the Jets, right? But New Orleans Saints are I think a half a game behind the Atlanta Falcons for the bottom of the division. The Saints 29-6, and look, I must say, Kellen Moore is making a little run here, man. Kellen Moore is making a little run. He's doing his thing, trying to get these guys rolling and believing in his systems. I could see heading into next year, if they figure out, like, is Shuck our quarterback or what are we doing here? I could see Kellen Moore kind of trying to get some things shuffle around. Hopefully him and the GM have some, some thoughts running around in there where the Saints may be somebody that you're looking at next year, that could possibly do something in this division and get themselves back to where they used to be, some years ago. So no surprise here. They should have won this game. I definitely had them winning this game against the Jets. But it's good to see Kellen Moore kind of putting it together, and the Saints look like they're starting to believe, and even with them being so old, and which is why I want to see what Kellen Moore is going to do in the years to come with the Saints. But expected win for them against the Jets.
That's saying something when you play in the Jets, you only got 4 wins in the season, you say it's an expected win, right? But yeah, I mean, I think going into the game, it's like, yeah, at home, the Saints probably going to win this. And sure enough, they did. Tyler Shook looking good. I mean, again, against the Jets, 300 yards passing, 32 for 49, 1 touchdown. Taysom Hill, the ageless Taysom Hill with a touchdown pass as well. No, I mean, it seems as if Kellen Moore is slowly building something. And I think as a Saints fan, if you're patient, you're looking forward to see what's going to happen next year, right? Because you seem to have your quarterback, and to now start to build around that is exciting for them. As for the Jets, I think for me, the thing that is shocking is you have a defensive-minded head coach, and they have played 15 games and still don't have a single interception on the season, which is just unfathomable to me, especially from a defensive-minded coach who was a defensive back, that they haven't got a interception yet. Yeah, Brady Cook tried, but offense kind of bottled up. Breece Hall is not cooking, and so they got a couple more games and plan for the offseason.
That team is horrible. Just remember, Sam Darnold was there, and they couldn't wait to get rid of him. You would think he didn't know how to play quarterback. Jets. I don't know what to say about the Jets. And the owner said he's going to believe in Aaron Glenn's long-term plan, which means Aaron Glenn has 1 more year. Right, that's all that means. That's the long-term plan. You got
at the most,
right.
At the most, 1 more year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just saying I'm not going to fire you this year.
Right.
That's all that's saying. I'm not going to fire you this year. But next year, you may not even make it out. That's all that means. Long-term, my foot. Long-term plan. But no, the Saints, man, they strung together some games, and Tyler Shook looking good. But I still think the Saints are going to draft a quarterback next year. Probably not in the first round, but they're going to draft the quarterback, and the quarterback they're going to probably draft is going to be Garrett Nussmeier, sorry, from LSU, right? Why Garrett, right? Because his dad is the offensive coordinator for the Saints, right? So I think they're gonna draft him. And Garrett was a highly touted quarterback. As a matter of fact, if he had came out in last year's draft, he quite possibly would have been a first round pick. But this year he got hurt, and LSU was LSU, which is why LSU lost they fired their head coach, so it was a mess. But he has the skill sets to be a potential franchise quarterback, so I'm pretty sure the Saints are going to pick him. That being said, yeah, I think it's just a race to the bottom with those two teams. It was a good game. Saints look good. I think if the Saints play another NFC South team within the next couple of weeks, they're probably going to beat them.
Yeah. Yeah. I real quick, I just hope that nepotism don't work like that, because, that don't ever work out, man. That don't ever work out. LeBron know about that. That don't work out.
This won't be no. This guy, he could actually play.
Yeah.
He could play.
All right. Okay.
He could play.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And
He's a good quarterback.
Good. And there is an interesting relationship between LSU and New Orleans. Don't forget when Joe Brady left. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
Right.
Yep. I got
So
you.
he could play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. Doc, your Vikings, man. I've seen 13 over the Giants. I was talking to you earlier about this. It looks like JJ McCarthy was, coming along, getting it together, and then he gets hurt, man. And I'm like, oh my gosh, man, what's going on with this dude, man? I'm like, why? Like, what's happening? But you want to see him get rolling. I mean, I want to see him get rolling. I want to see him doing some great things. But is he going to be injury prone? I mean, is he going to be one of them guys that are injury prone? I mean, I like we were talking about, maybe, getting roughed up, you putting your hand down when you go down, and, and that kind of thing, trying to brace your fall and that kind of, but man, I mean, these things happen every week. They're not going to be, your Vikings are not going to be able to count on him if long term, if this is going to be the norm. I don't know. I mean, you guys come up with the win here. I'm glad you did. Anytime you could beat down an NFC East opponent, that's great. I enjoy that. So thank you for that. I'll keep them down. Even though they out, I don't care. I just like them to lose. So anyway, y'all did your thing in winning the game. But I mean, my question to you is, do you think that JJ McCarthy can stay healthy?
So, the greatest ability is availability, and that has been in question for his career so far, right? First off, I like what they've been doing with the offense in, I don't want to say simplifying it, but not making it so, like, don't give him the full playbook, getting the man gain his confidence. You actually see him now making good decisions and throwing balls into tight windows, getting the ball to Justin Jefferson. Like, this is the first time in a long time Justin Jefferson was actually getting the ball, right? And, like, nice throws. Justin Jefferson making some great catches because he ain't touched the ball in a minute, so he's, like, doing it again, right? And then the Giants come with the blitz, and he does not recognize the blitz. He does not change the protection. He doesn't get the ball out quick, and Brian Burns blows him up. Fumble, Giants return it for a touchdown, and that's when he hurt his hand. And right, and like, you can't blame the O-line. That's on the quarterback. You got to recognize that and get rid of the ball. Brosmer comes in, and Brosmer looks decent. 7 for 9. This is the guy who threw 4 interceptions his previous game, right? So, like, I give O'Connell credit for, like, adjusting his approach to quarterbacks with the young quarterbacks. Like, the trial by fire thing ain't gonna work. You just gotta, like, you gotta ease them in. And he's finally realizes that easing them in, they're doing fine. Honestly, I think from the injury standpoint, I think McCarthy's going to be okay. I'm hoping the spate of random injuries ends this season. And I think to some degree, the Vikings have been overly cautious with him. But come next season, come year 4, he's going to be playing through some stuff that he wasn't playing through year 2. I also want to give the Giants credit for, when I say almost winning the game, Jackson Dart was 7 for 13. They're like, yeah, we are not going to expose that dude to a Brian Flores defense. We're going to run the ball as much as we can, play some defense, and take our chances. And so Tracy had 16 carries, Singletary had 11 carries, but it's like, yeah, we are not going to be dropping Jackson Dart back on 3rd and 10 and having him seeing illusions based on the Brian Flores defense. We're going to play it close to the vest and take our chances and 16-13 almost did.
Jackson Dart attempted and completed his first pass with 1 minute left in the second quarter.
Yeah.
With 1 minute left in the second quarter. They was like, dude, you don't protect yourself.
No.
Right? Just hand the ball off. You said 7-13 for 33 yards. For 33 yards. Right?
Yep.
The entire game.
Yep.
I've never seen anything like this.
At home.
At home. I've never seen anything like this, right? And you might as well put Jameis in the game, man. Just put someone else. Let someone throw the ball.
The greatest city in the world.
Right. But yeah, it was an interesting game. One, like I said, it was just kind of weird how they were calling it. This is like the epitome of let's just survive the rest of the season, get to the off season, and start adding some talent to the team. On the Giants side, McCarthy is probably going to be much of the same with Minnesota now. It's like, look, let's just limp into the offseason and salvage these guys' career. In terms of a take, McCarthy, can he stay healthy? I think if they actually put in and start developing a real running game, yes, he can stay healthy long term. Because what he did with Michigan, he was a good play action quarterback. He can't play action with this run because no one fears the run. So it's not going to work in Minnesota. So they're probably, you guys are probably going to draft a running back, right? If it's the right guy at the right time, maybe in the first round. If not, at least somewhere down the line. Because these guys, they're just not, they're not injecting any semblance of fear to the opponent, right? So yeah, Vikings won the game. Giants attempted 13 passes. It was a weird game. It was a weird game.
Yeah, they definitely taking the ball out of his hand. If you put it in his hand, he's just going to take off and run and get himself
get knocked out.
Yeah,
get knocked out. Back into.
Yeah. So yeah, they did the right thing to try. These last two games, just get out of the season. Let's just get the season.
Yeah.
All right. The Swifties did their job again, man. The Swifties doing their thing. You know who is the number one vote getter for the Pro Bowl?
Overall, right? Not just
overall. Travis Kelce. So the Swifties are at it again, and they are doing their thing because they got to see their guy, their girl's guy, as one of the top vote getters in the NFL Pro Bowl. Man, look here. Let me tell you something. You just saw something this week, and with Patrick Mahomes going down and being out, that just exposed the whole Kansas City. They are so reliant on Patrick Mahomes to run this offense and to really, he's the heart and soul of the team. I mean, we knew this before, but now we really know it. We really know it. And I know, I thought they were actually going to, I'm kind of shocked because I thought they were actually going to play with some pride. We're former champions, man. We had a dynasty, going here. Even though we're out of the playoffs, we're still gonna fight, man. We're not going down like that. Disgusting, man. It was just a disgusting show, and it was just horrible to see. And a total letdown for Kansas City fans. I know they weren't expecting this. They're not as bad as Philadelphia Eagles fans where they're trying to throw everybody away, throw them in the trash and stuff like that. The majority in the radio stations. However, Kansas City, I expected more from them, but 9 points against the Titans, yeah, that's piss poor. But anyway, it just seemed like they just let it go. It was like, you know what? Patrick is gone. Travis might retire. What we here for? Let's just end this season now. We're not going to the playoffs. That's what it seemed like to me. So anyway, at least the Swifties did their job.
On Swifties, boy.
Man, the team's so shamed. They announced they plan to move over to Kansas and leave Missouri. They can't show their face. They're gonna move in 2031.
I saw that. Yes.
Jokes aside, I forgot what had happened to Mahomes, right? So I saw the score. I was like, what is going on, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, Patrick Mahomes ain't there. Okay, that explains it, right? And then I'm like, no, but that really shouldn't explain it. That shouldn't explain 26-9 when Tennessee's just been second worst team in the league, maybe behind the Raiders. I mean, the Jets still got an argument on there, but, And then 26-9, and then it's like, oh, Gardner Minshew goes down with a knee injury. Chris Oladokun from South Dakota State comes in, so your third stringer comes in, and it's like, oh, and this team don't run the ball. This explains the 26-9, right? So when you can't run the ball to have your quarterback out, your third stringer's in, Cam Ward, that's a good game. 21 for 28, 228, 2 touchdowns against the first teamers on KC's defense. Tony Pollard goes over 100 yards. Tennessee's offense did what they needed to do against Kansas City's vaunted defense, and KC's offense couldn't have the defense out. So I think you may see 2 more of these the last 2 weeks of the season out of Kansas City. And then folks are going to be trying to time it to see when Mahomes comes back, and hopefully he comes back in September, because until he comes back, we're probably going to expect to see this from Kansas City. So
I called it, right? When we were predicting this game, I said Tennessee is going to probably win this one, and probably comfortably. You got Travis Kelce leading this group.
Ridiculous.
Right, because Rashee Rice was out as well. Rashee Rice didn't play. Okay, so yeah, this is another team where, just like with the Bills, they're just heavily dependent on their quarterback. There's nobody else there. You take that quarterback out, they are piss poor. Okay, good showing for Tennessee. Good showing for Cam Ward. I think the future's bright for him. Give him a competent coach, please. Give him someone who can come in, who knows what he's doing. Not just an offensive-minded guy, but a guy that just knows how to coach. Who knows how to coach in critical situations and get these guys, shored up and pointing in the right direction. But yeah, I think KC, they were 6-9 now. They're probably going to end up being, 6-11, right? With this type of performance, I don't see them winning any more games for the rest of the last 2 games.
Yeah. And you got Andy, and Andy just gonna. It don't matter who they're at quarterback. Andy throwing the ball. Okay, it don't matter.
He's throwing the ball.
Yeah, Andy throwing the ball, so it don't matter. So yeah, I could see that.
Robert Saleh.
You guys could see.
Robert Saleh as the head coach.
I was just going to get there. Do you see? I could see Andy retiring at the end of the season.
Ooh,
I think I would give him one more season, because I think he want Patrick to come back. And he might give it one more, but I could definitely see him retiring. With one more season, I definitely see that.
And Doc, I wouldn't want to see Robert Saleh with Tennessee. I don't think he would take that job. After what he went through with the Jets, I think he's going to have he's going to look long and hard at the stability of the ownership and the organization. He's not going to go through
good
that.
For him. Good for him.
Yeah.
Not good for the Rams, but good for him.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. The Atlanta Falcons, man, I just gotta laugh every time. 26-19.
Why are you laughing?
The Falcons, man. Look, and they almost didn't win this game. As a matter of fact, almost didn't win, but they won. They won the game. I was like, here go the Falcons, boy. They doing their thing again. But they pulled this one out against the Cardinals, right? And I mean, you would have expected. I went for I picked the Cardinals, so the Cardinals kind of let me down in this one. But anyway, the Falcons are just one of these teams that you just can't. I can't explain it. They just got a curse on them, man. But they won the game, and so they are half game ahead of the Saints, so they holding on in that division. And Falcons, they won the game. Well, what else can I say? I can't say anything.
Hey, they won a game, right? They're on the road. They go. Yeah, the Cardinals are not a juggernaut in the NFL, but they won. Decent game. 76 yards rushing, 92 yards receiving, plus a touchdown. Kyle Pitts, not the massive game he had last week, but had touchdown reception. So they think they're slowly starting to figure out what the offense could or / should be. And again, like you said, for the Cardinals, it's like trying. But Marvin Harrison's back, 1 catch for 14 yards. Jacoby Brissett doing his best, but yeah. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
I just can't see how the Cardinals can't get Marvin Harrison Jr. going. Right? You got he should be getting at least 13 targets a game. But yeah, Falcons pulled it out. I don't expect anything from the Cardinals. I don't even know how you could say the Cardinals let you down. Like they this is what they do.
This was against the Falcons, man.
But the Cardinals are that bad.
Yeah.
Cardinals are that bad.
Yeah.
Cardinals are that bad. They're and especially with the quarterback out, Kyler Murray, there's nothing's happening. That your boy Gannon, he probably getting up right back with the Eagles next year. So, see around me begging for him to come back, please. All right. But Falcons, they pulled it out. They won. They finally doing what they're supposed to do with Bijan. I still don't understand why they're splitting the carries evenly between him and Algier, but at least they're giving Bijan targets in the receiving category, right? So like Doc said, 7 receptions and 92 yards. So at least they're splitting his touches that way. And then you got Kurt Two Chains, right? Kurt Two Chains out there and dealing and dishing and doing what he's supposed to do. You got Pitts. Pitts is actually producing now. This a contract year for Pitts. It's the only reason why he producing.
Right.
Yeah.
He go as soon as he get whatever money he's gonna get.
That's it.
That's it. So
You're going Derek Coleman it.
Yep.
Derek Coleman.
But yeah, like you said, it's not nothing much to talk about with this game. Man. You got two organizations that are reeling.
Yeah. So one of the games of the week that we called last week, man, the Jacksonville Jaguars 34, Denver Broncos 20. Let me tell you, look, the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming up, and they are, they beat the Denver Broncos at home. And I think we called this one Jacksonville winning this game. And I was definitely expecting them to win this game because I knew with how I saw Trevor Lawrence starting to play. Is this the real Trevor Lawrence? Is this the Trevor Lawrence that we, that how he should be playing, how he should have been playing with some sort of consistency and really using his legs? This dude is a big dude. He is big. I mean, he's looking over people. He could see, his targets. He could run. He could, and if this is what they're going to put on the field, and they are are they going to be consistent enough like this in the playoffs? But you beat the number one team in their house. You got to put a little bit of respect on that, man. If these guys have won 11 games, right? You can't in the NFL. You've won 11 games. You gotta have some sort of respect for them. So, Jacksonville is starting to put it together at the right time. So, they showed what they could do early in the season against Kansas City. Then, they stumble and bumble and doing their thing. But now it looks like Liam Cohen has them kind of, he looks like he's a kind of serious coach, man. Like he's like, look, I'm not playing around. We trying to do something here. So anyway, Jacksonville Jaguars come up with the win, man. I'm impressed with your boy.
Yeah, my boy, he doing his thing.
I did not call this game. I was waiting for this game for about the last 3 weeks because I did not take Jacksonville seriously. And I was like, well, we gonna see if Jacksonville is serious, if they could go into Denver and beat Denver. And I'm sitting there watching this game, and I'm like, okay, first quarter, okay, they're all right. Second quarter, okay, they up. That's good. But midway through the third, I'm like, oh, these dudes for real. Mud dust sick. Impressive win. Jacksonville went into Denver and they beat Denver. And you can't say it any other way, but they went and beat Denver at Denver. They ran the ball well enough. Trevor Lawrence made some great throws. Made some great catches. The defense did a really good job against Denver's offense. And I mean, the only thing you can say is, well, could they do it again? But they went into Denver and beat Denver. So I gotta put respect on Jacksonville's name. Duval, congratulations. So, and it wasn't like Denver played a bad game. Jacksonville beat them. And I really didn't think Jacksonville had it in them, the way they went about executing. Putting up 34 points on Denver's defense is the thing that I think is most impressive to me. That they went into Denver and beat Denver's defense at home. I gotta take Jacksonville seriously for as good as Denver's defense is. I don't think they had a turnover. And then, they got Bo Nix to throw an interception. But still, that doesn't explain the win. Jacksonville went into Denver and beat Denver. And I gotta give them credit. I give Cohen credit. I give Trevor Lawrence credit. If I caught the best game he played all year, that may be it. But he played a really good game. Passing the ball, scrambling for first downs, protecting his body unlike other quarterbacks in the league. That's a dart. But yeah. So they're gonna they have a puncher's chance in the playoffs. I'm still not quite sure I'd put them up there with Denver and New England, even though they just beat Denver in Denver.
They just beat Denver in Denver.
Yeah.
But when I say puncher's chance, like as good as New England's defense is and as good as Denver's defense is, Jacksonville's offense, when it's clicking, can clearly score enough points to win games. And their defense is no slouch either. So it's like, I don't think, looking at things, I'd put them as the number 1 or the number 2 seed, but I do think they legitimately could make it to the AFC Championship game and even further. The proof was on Sunday. Hats off to them.
Yeah, Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, Brenton Strange. These are his pass catchers. These are the guys that were making plays for Trevor Lawrence. You talk about a quarterback. What's a quarterback supposed to do? He's supposed to be, of course, an extension of the coach, which I think that took a while for Trevor Lawrence to kind of get adapted to the offense. He's starting to hit a stride with that. But the second part of this, he's supposed to make everybody else around him play better. And these guys, I mean, Parker Washington, he had 145 yards from receiving. And Jacoby Myers, though he didn't have a big statistical game this game, the other games he's been a big contributor. Brian Thomas is supposed to be the main guy, and this guy, he's like at the bottom of the totem pole right now in terms of target shares. So I think Trevor Lawrence is finally hitting his stride. He has a coach in Liam Cohen, who is he's from the Rams coaching staff, came over here and implemented his offense, and the offense is now it's clicking and it's compatible with Trevor Lawrence. So the carousel of coaches that he's had to deal with up until this point, he's kind of had that Jalen Hurts treatment where every other year, it's been a different coach, different coordinator, and he hasn't been able to kind of develop some sort of consistency within the team. Now I think that's been stabilized, and now we're seeing the first overall pick for what we had anticipated him being coming out of Clemson. He was a prototypical quarterback, 6'5", 220 pounds, a rifle arm. I call him an athletic Peyton Manning in terms of his athletic skill sets. But I think this bodes well for him now going into the next couple, starting to hit the prime of his career. I think he's like 27, 28. So good for him. Good for him. And in terms of their potential going into the playoffs, I think they could beat Denver. They just beat Denver, and Denver wanted this game. Okay, they snapped an 11-game win streak by the Broncos, and if they could beat Denver, they could definitely beat the Patriots. Because I don't think the Patriots is that much better than Denver. Right. And so between these three teams, the only team I think I don't see them beating is them Texans.
Yeah.
Them Texans. I think the Texans, now backtracking with what I said earlier, I think the Texans are the best team in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
They're the best team in the AFC, and they're starting to hit, their stride now too. But Jacksonville, they could definitely make it to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. Very, 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 very strange. Very strange. And also, and speaking of strange, the Steelers 29, Lions 24. It seems like every game that the Lions are in, there's something's going on. And early in the season, we said it didn't look like they were missing Ben Johnson, man. It looked like everything was, then Dan Campbell pulled the offensive calling from the offensive coordinator. He started calling the plays. They looked good for a game or two. And, it's things are happening to them at the end of games. And you really can't put it on these things, because you should have been, you should just win the games outright. I mean, I know all of these games are going to be close. They're going to come down. And if they're coming down to calls at the end of the game, which I do think it was offensive pass interference when you look at it, on the crossing route, on the pick play, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the call is, if your hands are extended, you're pushing off, it's offensive pass interference. And that's what it was. And that's what it was. I know people don't agree with it. Detroit fans don't agree with it. They thought they got cheated and robbed and whatever. But it is what it is. He pushed off, and you could see the guy actually going back, also, in the replay. So the refs got it right. Detroit loses, and they're just about out of the playoffs. I think, they would have to win out, and I think the Packers have to lose out or something like that for them to get into playoffs, and I don't see that happening. The Lions are going to be out, and I think they do miss Ben Johnson, obviously, based on what you see the Chicago Bears are doing, and based on where you see they are at this point in time at the season. Steelers come up with the win. I really don't have anything much to say about the Steelers, but DK Metcalf shoving fans in the this dude. We already know this dude with his headedness. I mean, why are you getting into it with fans? Why? It just don't make any sense, dude. Just stay on the bench. You just stay on the bench, man. Why are you all the way over there anyway? Anyway, yeah, I don't have much to say about the Steelers. They won the game, and I guess they're picking up some steam or trying to do something. But again, they 29-24.
So first off, Detroit Lions, as much respect as I have for the organization the last few years and what they've done, always seem to be in these controversial finishes, right? Did the guy say he was eligible or not eligible against Dallas a couple of years ago? Now they got these offensive pass interferences on the last game and then drive, and then they're like, no, that was, yes, it was. You can't be doing this in front of everybody and not expect to get that call when the ball comes your way, right? Two, for whatever reason, and I don't quite understand it, Detroit decided that they don't need David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs, and they had, I think, like 12 carries for like 14 yards, and it was all Jared Goff. And I'm surprised actually we're in this game with Jared Goff having 54 attempts.
There you go.
Thirdly, with Pittsburgh, the fans start talking about fire Tomlin, and he hasn't lost a game since. So you're likely gonna make the playoffs, though you gotta wonder now with Metcalf missing the next 2 games because of his interaction with the fan. Supposedly the fan called him some names that people shouldn't be called, and the fan denies it, and he said, but suffice it to say the league don't like it when you do your best run our tests. And so he gonna sit 2 games, 2 crucial games for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll see how things go. Yeah, the Detroit Lions are not what they were from last year. Yeah, we're good. If they don't make the playoffs, we're gonna see what they do, because it doesn't make sense to blow it up, but unless you get some new coordinators in there that could shore up the offense and shore up the defense, your window's starting to close, right? Remember a couple of years ago when that first year they had that first run, they didn't make it, and Dan Campbell was talking about, hey, you never know. You can't take these things for granted because you never know we're going to be back. And they've been good the last couple of years, but now that window is starting to close just a little bit. So yeah, we'll see how things play out.
I pray to God that DK Metcalf was mic'd up for this game. That would be so awesome if he was, right? Because I really want to know what the fan said.
Yeah.
Right? I would love to hear what that fan said to him. But even regardless, I don't care. Even if the fan did say something derogatory,
Yeah.
okay, DK should not have put himself in that position. There was no need for him to go to the fan and engage with the fan in that manner, right? So now he's out 2 games. He's going to lose out on $555,000. That just makes me sick to my stomach.
I know.
Right? I don't care how rich you are. $555,000. That's a lot of money. So because you took a swipe at the fan, didn't even connect. You took a swipe at the fan. Jesus. At least you should have punched him or something. No, I'm serious. Like get your money's worth, man. Get your money's worth. But that being said, good on the Steelers. Another team that they're starting to find their rhythm, find their way. They got a run game now, right? But Warren, Gaines, and number 30, the other guy, and Aaron Rodgers is playing decent ball. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like without DK these next 2 games. That's going to be a big hit to them offensively. But even on the defensive side, the defense somehow stopped or made Detroit fearful of running the ball. Okay, you had that, and the guy that got pushed, Amon-Ra St. Brown pushed off on, that was Jalen Ramsey. That was a really good acting job to sell. Not that, I mean, look, he pushed him, right? It was a foul. That was a pass interference, but Jalen Ramsey flailing his arms sold it as well, and that's a veteran move, right? Jalen Ramsey, he's a headsy guy. But yeah, they put the ball in Goff's hand, and to Goff's credit, from here on out, I'm no longer bad-mouthing Jared Goff. Like, those days are done, right? He's a good quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback, and he put up some really good numbers. But what Steelers did was they were saying we're going to let Jared Goff get his as long as Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery doesn't go off. They felt like they'd be able to control the game, and they did that, right? Because when Jared Goff, when you throw the ball, get the ball down the field, time of possession, the defensive line, they're not getting eaten up, right? They're not getting tired out, and the Steelers are able to control the clock, control the ball. And I think they put more of the emphasis on that. And that's what happened. Detroit find themselves in a unique situation because they could possibly not make the playoffs. On top of that, this is now coming towards the tail end of all of the concessions that they got from that trade, that Matthew Stafford trade, right? Because now all of these guys they're going to be up for contracts. You got to pay Jahmyr Gibbs, right? You got some more guys that you got to pay that you picked up off of this trade. And now they're going to have to start making some tough decisions and see who they're going to pay, who they're not going to pay. And now you get to the point where you can properly evaluate who made good on that trade between the 2 teams. I still say the Rams won that trade. We got a Super Bowl out of it. Detroit didn't. And on top of all of this, you see the Ben Johnson effect, right? We understand, Dan Campbell, he's calling the plays, and, he's a good call player in his own right. But one has to wonder, if Ben was still there, would Detroit be in the situation that they're in now? I would say no. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. I didn't expect this game to be this close, but Houston Texans still come up with the win, 23-21 against the Raiders. In this game, Ashton Genty really had a big game on the ground and receiving. So, they got him moving a little bit in this game, and I guess try to figure out some ways to get him the ball because, on offense, he's pretty much what you got. And so, get him the ball, try to figure it out, try to move him around in different places and let him run the ball. So I think he had a big game for the Raiders, and it's okay, for the Texans, even though it was a 2-point win. I still consider them one of the best teams in the AFC because these games happen. It happens. Teams have pride. Teams don't want to be in the cellar for too long, and they're gonna put up a fight. They're gonna show some stuff that they hadn't seen the week before and that kind of thing. Anyway, CJ Stroud didn't have that good of a game. It was okay, but Houston just keeps on rolling. So it's good to see the Texans continue to roll and continue to do their thing, and they come up with win 23-21 over the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Houston could do moving forward and going into the playoffs.
Y'all talking a lot of stuff about them Houston Texans, and then they barely win one against the Raiders. I mean, it's the NFL, right? Anything could happen. And they did not play their best, and they still won the game, right? Right. This is probably one of those things where, like, you trying your best to keep your team focused, and they're like, yeah, but it's the Raiders, coach. And it's like, hey, if you don't come out and play, yeah, but it's the Raiders. And it almost got him, but it didn't. I'm glad to see Ashton Genty finally had like a good game, a rushing, and he had like a long receiving touchdown too. But there's something for a team getting back to Houston where you don't play your best and you still win. That you make plays, Stingley with an interception, you make plays and you pull it out, and it's like, hey, we can build on this because we know we can win games. Maybe don't come out and play our best. When we play our best, like, we could beat anybody. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, this was a trap game, if I ever seen one. You could tell the Houston Texans, they were looking past this game. They weren't taking this game seriously, and they almost got caught.
Yeah, it's a trap.
They almost got caught. And now you see how deadly Ashton Genty is when you don't really pay attention to trying to stop that run. He will special. He shakes these guys like you can't. It's hard to get him down with a shoulder tackle, right, or one guy. But yeah, Texans, they did what they were supposed to do. They came up with the win. Wasn't pretty. Offensively definitely wasn't pretty on the offensive side either. But no, they got their win. They are 10-5. Yeah. And Las Vegas, they're vying for that number one spot. So I think Geno Smith, his days are
for sure. All right, in the Sunday night game, Patriots-Ravens, Patriots just come back at the end, fight, claw, scratch their way back to win this game. And Lamar Jackson goes out, back injury, and I think this was that he was having this all along. When it was like back injury, now I could see why. I could see why. Mobility wise, your back, even running and he wasn't running a lot at all. So yeah, and he gets that hit in his back, and that kind of tells the tale there. So yeah, they were going to win this game. I think Baltimore was going to win this game if he was able to stay in the game. But the Patriots, hey, look, this is what happens. This is the NFL. Injuries happen. People got to come in. Hey, you got to do your job. You got to try and win the game. And it's just unfortunate sometimes momentum leaves you when that happens, and the other team, feeds off of it, and they end up winning the game. That's what happened with New England. But again, this is what championship type teams do, right? They take advantage of situations, and that's what the Patriots did last night. So Patriots come up with the win, and they're right up there rolling in the AFC, man.
So I'm watching this game. I see Lamar Jackson go down, back injury. You see him limp into the locker room, dejected. Like, the dude was just dejected. Like, again, like another, like, what is going on, right? Tyler Huntley comes in, everyone's favorite backup quarterback, helps educate boys on the birds and the bees, And he's there, and they start leaning on Derrick Henry. I'm like, okay, these dudes finally get that. John Harbaugh, that's what you do. give it to the workhorse. He starts scoring, start breaking off some long runs, scores with about, I think, like 12 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and he never touches the ball again. And it's like, what? Yeah. Anyway, so I don't understand how you get to the home stretch and then decide to not continue to feed that man the ball. But anyway, congrats to the Patriots for pulling the game out. Drake May had a pretty good game. 31 for 44, 380, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think it's like the first time in like a few years that a New England Patriots quarterback went for over 300 yards, which is surprising, not surprising. Post Tom Brady-ish, right?
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs had a really good game. They came through and pulled that game out. I was impressed with some of the throws Drake May was making. I think he had one down in the back right corner of the end zone. It was a perfect throw. Like some of his touches, some of his passes were like extraordinarily on point. But yeah, the Patriots, position themselves well for the playoffs, and Baltimore may be outside looking in after this loss. And yeah, they've done their best trying to, navigate some of these injuries, especially to Lamar Jackson. But I'm just a little surprised that you had one superstar left on offense and you didn't give it to him for most of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the way he was running at averaging 7.1 yards a rush. He had 128 yards rushing off of just 18 attempts and 2 touchdowns. So that's pretty peculiar. I don't understand that. And John Harbaugh, he talked about it, and the only thing he said was, I should have given him the ball more, right? So I don't understand how that stuff happens. How can you just forget about the best weapon you have on your offense unless there's something else going on? He's hurt, right?
Good question. Do you think it had anything to? I mean, he did have a critical fumble in this game.
Yeah, but he scored since then.
He scored since. Okay. I wanted to see what that timeline was. Yeah.
Yeah, that was earlier in the game, right? And he still ended up rushing for all these yards even after that. So yeah, I don't know. I can't explain. No one is explaining why he hasn't touched the ball in the fourth quarter.
With your backup quarterback in the game.
Makes no sense. And none of the other running backs were producing, right? So there's that. But the Patriots, this is good on them. They are up there now. I think they're 1 game behind the Broncos. So they're nipping at their heels for that number 1 spot. And Drake May, second year, 380 yards. So looking at him now, you got the trifecta of quarterbacks in that draft with Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Drake May. Looking at one of the better quarterback classes we've seen in a long time between those 3. So and he's playing at a Pro Bowl level. 380 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, just 1 interception. So he is the team at this point. Helps to have Josh McDaniels, our offensive coordinator. But that being said, he's the weapon all on his own. So yeah, Patriots, they're looking good. Another team that's thriving at the end of the season. Baltimore, they're on the opposite side of that. Look like they might be on the outside looking in. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So in this last game tonight, 49ers are up 34-20. Right now it is just starting the fourth quarter. 49ers are rolling, and they looks like they're gonna win this game and keep pace, man. Yeah. Don't look like you're too excited, man, Lee.
No. The Phillip Rivers phenomenon I find fascinating.
It is, yes. He's playing well.
18 for 27, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 1 sack against the San Francisco defense. Like the 44-year-old, but they down 14 points. You really don't care.
Let's go. No, I have nothing to say about this game, man. I'll wait till the game is over. We could talk about it later. But, and the fact that Rivers is having a good game, that doesn't bode well for Robert Saleh. I need Robert Saleh to at least, have his defense playing lights out. Something. He does not need to be there next season.
Yeah.
He needs to be a clear-cut favorite for a head coaching job someplace.
Yeah.
Has to.
Yeah. Hopefully you get one.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
In the AFC.
In the AFC. You don't want him in the NFC?
No.
Hopefully you get one. We'll see where he lands.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, man. All right, fellas.
All right, fellas. Later.
All right, later.